my people, the worst has finally come to the worst as Tinubu has now been exposed. Tinubu is in trouble. This is the reason why the country is upside down. There is a video that I will be playing in this video for you to watch. Tinubu reason for doing all this to Nigeria has been exposed. Forget the fact that some tribes are protesting while some are not. Every single person in the country is feeling the hardship. After seeing this video, you will come to the conclusion that Tinubu has been doing all these things deliberately. An old video showcase online today again that bust everything open. What we are facing in the country today has been foreseen years ago and was actually discussed, but nothing was done about it. In this country, we are fond of talking and talking without any action. That's the reason why Nigeria is still in this state. Make sure you stick to the end of this video to see what this man said. Don't forget to share this video to every social media platform. If you cannot share, like it, give it a thumbs up so that YouTube will recommend it for us. We'll be back in the jiffy.
Welcome back to Lagos TV show.
The whole of crime scene.
It's happening in the street again.
The center of political news, celebrity gossip, religious gossip, and happiness in the society.
Join us, the voice of Africa.
Welcome you to Lagos TV show, where we bring you political, celebrity, and religious gossip. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, do well to click the red subscription button and don't forget to click the bell icon so that YouTube will notify you anytime we drop another trendy video. My people, a lot is happening in the political zone as Tinubu, presently in the face of the citizen of the country, is a confused man that has no clue about how a country is being run. Tinubu presently is proving to the people that being influential doesn't necessarily mean that you could run a country. It's barely 9 months that Tinubu emerged as the president that a lot of people are lamenting because of the hardship the country is faced with. An old video showcase online where Dr. Matthias was speaking to the National House of Assembly then in those days, prior to what is actually affecting our mode of democracy and also the kind of mentality we have in Africa as a whole. He said the most thing that is affecting us, that the people have a slavery mentality which has eaten deep into their minds, that they cannot even think outside the box. That's why Joshua Mapunga blasted the government of Nigeria about the export of oil to a foreign land for the dust, the oil to be refined, and then we will buy the oil times 2 the price we export there. This is an act of slavery mindset when it's not that the country cannot build or repair its own refinery. Electricity has never for once been stable in this country. This exposure has obviously exposed the shenanigans that Tinubu has been involving himself. Usman BUGAJE, in one of the interviews he had on Channels TV, says that Bola Ahmed TINUBU has no solution to the hardship of the country. He blasted Tinubu so hard that he said if he cannot handle the economy of the country, why did he come out in the first place? That he should stop complaining about inheriting a bad economy from the previous administration of which he is part of. He cannot tell Nigerians that he was never involved during the administration of Buhari. In fact, one of the troubles Nigerians have been facing since the regime of Buhari. So nobody from his regime should tell Nigerians that the economy was inherited from any previous administration. My people, stay close to the screen as I will be playing the video for you to hear and see the kind of people we call our government. They are the one behind everything that is actually happening in the country, as the economy is going down, as insecurity sets in, as everything that has to do with food price hike in the country. Everything is going down presently, and President Bola Ahmed TINUBU has nothing to do about it. In fact, he has no clue about it, even to the fact that his children are now the one coming to the public to tell every Nigerians that they should calm down for their father, that everything will be settled. How can it be settled when every person in the country cannot even complete one scale meal? Everybody in the country is actually affected, both the rich and the poor, and the rich are getting richer, but as at the point that everything is now presently, everybody is faced with hardship and nobody can actually continue with it. That's the reason why most places in the country now is striked with protests everywhere and there, but President Bola Ahmed TINUBU has nothing to say. In this old video, you will see what this man said about the slavery mindset that we have in this country. This has got to stop. It has got to stop. This thing has been lingering for years. This thing has to stop in this country. Stay back, watch the video, and I will be back right after the video.
The secretary to the conference, distinguished delegates, I will be very brief. There will be no padding. I wish to thank the President for this opportunity for re-engineering the country. I wish to go straight to say that the problem we have in this country is because we have suffering from mental slavery. Over 300 years ago, our parents sold our brothers and sisters into slavery. 300 years later, we are not different. We are still selling ourselves into slavery. There is no originality in this country. This is the root of the problem we have. Those days, the price for the slaves were trinkets, beads, gunpowder, Jean, thank you very much, and so on. The price today is foreign aids. The price today is political influence. The problem we have is not of our own making. And unless we address those issues, our collusion with the colonial masters is going to cause us more problem. If we look all around, look at the ceiling, there is nothing that is new, nothing indigenous in this hall. The country itself is not indigenous. Even the coup, we are blaming the military. Even the coups that we have is not of our own making. I believe there is the author of one of the books I have read in this conference who stated that the idea of a coup was first suggested in one of the military conferences they attended in America. I will go straight to read, with your permission, Mr. Chairman, what the respected Alhaji Shehu Shagari has put in his book. And I ask every member here to get that book, because I know most members here have the book written by Clinton, but they have not put the book, they have not bought the book written by Haji Shehu Shagari. And I'm going to quote what he has written. Quote, I was particularly struck by a conversation I had with a Greek professor attached to an international agency in Geneva. He told me his opinion of why West Europeans were supporting the rebellion against Nigeria. It was, he said, common among Westerners to sympathize with the underdog in any dispute, which in this case happens to be the Eastern Igbo. But what was even more important to the West was that Nigeria was a potential rival power in Africa, a force which had to be checked before it becomes a threat to Western European interests on the continent. The Biafran challenge, accordingly, provided a suitable opportunity to trim Nigeria's growing wings. He said that according to certain estimates, Nigeria was sitting on a keg of oil, which, given a suitable condition, would make it so rich in just 10 years, that is by 1978, that Nigeria would not require any aid from Europe. Indeed, Nigeria would be in a position to assist other African countries, especially the poorer ones, and thus undermine an important basis on which European influence was exercised over them. I underline that. He did not therefore think that Europe would stand idly by and watch Nigeria become to Africa what the United Nations had become to Western Europe. The rebel enclave, on the other hand, could be encouraged to become a rich but small and manageable African country, which would still be dependent on the West, just as some small oil-rich Arab countries have been. Finally, he assured me that whatever happened in the future, the West would never allow Nigeria to develop to a position where its wealth and power would threaten West European interests in Africa. Mr. Chairman, I don't need any comment. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Certainly, a lot of the things that we are seeing today are not conceivable a few years back. Yes, we know that the country was going down the drain, and we could see a lot of the problems.
So we could see that this was going to happen years back?
No, not as bad as it is at the moment. Sadly, the speed with which it has happened and the depth of the problems that we have found ourselves are not things that we had anticipated. Yes, we could see the problem. I remember as far back as 2007, well, actually 2005, 2007, there were signs. And I remember then I was the member of the PDP in the House of Representatives, and I did draw the attention of the chairman of our party, Chief Audobe then, that things are likely to get worse if policies do not change. And I specifically drew his attention to a book written by Robert Kaplan with the title The Coming Anarchy. I did a review article of that, about 15 pages, which I also made available to him and I shared to some of our colleagues. And in that review article, I was myself shocked reading it nearly 15, 16, 17 years after. It is speaking to the issues that we are actually witnessing today. It's just like when the last regime took over in 2015. By 2016, it was clear that it did not have the capacity to deliver. But even then, we never expected that they would, do the level of pillage and basically looting of the treasury, as it's becoming very clear at the moment. Similarly, we had expected that when this leadership, or when the new government took over from Tinubu, we were expecting that he has around him expertise, and we were expecting that for him to have announced the removal of subsidy, he must have done a plan, something that will address the consequences of that. You don't take a policy without make a policy without looking at the consequences and preparing to cushion the effect of that. But apparently he did that without any preparation. And so what is happening at the moment is something that has been anticipated, but like I said, the extent to which it has come is something that is baffling. And I still think those in government, talking to them, they don't seem to even understand this reality. They seem to think that is somebody somewhere manipulating something.
So you think there is a disconnect?
I think so. Because you see,
from people around the president.
Yeah, if you want to know what is happening, talk to the to the pastors and to the imams, because that's where poor people run to. They have easy access to these people, and they go to them normally, because when you are in this big trouble, you look for God, right? You sort of surrender more, because you have come to the end of your wits. You have nothing more to. And from these people, we have information that people are actually, some of them are eating dead meat. There are people who are feeding their families with dead meat because they have nothing.
Nigerians are pushed to the wall.
Exactly.
They've come to the wit end.
Exactly. So if they knew what is happening, they wouldn't be doing the kind of. I've said it, Seun, I'm extremely disappointed. I used to know him to be someone who is always reading, is always engaging, but I've not seen that at all. And I can see a lot of sycophancy around him. People are not engaging him. They are not telling him the truth. And he seems to be very comfortable with the kind of people that he has around them that don't seem to have any ideas in their head. They don't seem to have any solution to the problems that we have. And they're always trying to find excuses. I understand one of the ministers was even saying that things are improving. How can they be improving when people are in the mess they are at the moment? How can they be improving when the insecurity has reached that level where even Abuja, the capital, is not safe? How can things be improving? And they are, when they come to the solutions, they are repeating what has been done 40 years ago without any success. They are looking at controlling prices. How can you control the prices of things that you don't have? I mean, Buhari in his military era, tried doing that, opening stores and give, but that didn't solve the problem. And you're talking about palliatives. Government has demonstrated very clearly that they are the worst handlers of palliative. They have never done this thing very well. from the COVID time to date, we have seen how much scandals are now. So,
when
it's not something that
Buhari came into power, there was a lot of expectation because Nigerians thought, this is a military general who will understand the sound of the guns and how to silence it and how to deal with the insurgency in the country. And he said that he will quench it. Now, this is Bola TINUBU, the Nigeria's president, who is saying as an accomplished accountant, a tax man who understands the figures and perhaps knows just how well to deal with economic issues. And that's why I asked you whether or not you were disappointed.
Well, today,
do you think he has the capacity to be able to turn things around?
Today is everybody's knowledge that Bola TINUBU has no solution to the problems of this country.
Really?
If anything, well, let's see it. Let's see it if he has. I mean, the last 6 months or so, this government has been fumbling and tumbling. We have not seen any solution, not to the security situation, not to the food situation, not to the issue of jobs, even investments where they claim to. Look at the value of the naira. These, experts that he has brought to handle the central bank, you can see they are fumbling. The value of the naira is constant. We never expected it would get this bad.
But there are those who will say, look, there are some political manipulation. There are the fifth columnist. There are those who are trying to play around this issue. We have had
this regime after regime. If you cannot handle this, why did you even come in the first place? No excuses. You applied for this job. You should know that there will be fifth columnists. You should know that there are people who will sabotage you. What are the police doing? What are the SSS doing? What are all the instruments of coercion that we have within government are they doing? What are you doing?
Would it be fair to refer to the TINUBU government as failing after just 8 months in office?
It's very clear. You don't need any analysis. It has failed to address the most essential.
It's not even spent up to 1 year in office.
Yeah, but you can see clearly. And if you go back to the constitution, the very purpose of government is the welfare and security of the people. Where is the welfare? Where is the security? Where is the future? All this talk about hope, people have turned it to say, it's not a new, it's a revived hardship. They are moving from one hardship to worse hardship that they are facing now. And it's very clear. And I have not seen the solution. Most of the things that they have spoken about are no solution.
Dr. Bugaj,
even the idea of exactly where to
look
go.
at it, and the president will say, look, we're making some policies that will cause some hardship. It will take some time, but we are turning things around. Can we give him a benefit of the doubt that things, according to the words of the president, maybe things can turn around?
Seun, these things, in the 21st century, governance is a corporate scientific business. It's not something mystical. Where are the figures? Bring out the figures, do the projections. This is how the world is run today, right? Do we know how much food we are producing at the moment? We should. Do we know how much petrol we are selling? We should. Did we know how much revenue we are expecting? What are our bills? How do we solve this? The figures should be able to be rolled out today. But you keep speaking in general terms with nothing specific, and things are worsening. Even the policy itself of removing subsidy, you should not announce this policy or start this policy without an arrangement. For example, where is the subsidy that we have recovered after removal? How much is it? Where do you want to apply it? From what we know, there are 4 areas that you can apply these subsidies that can ease life for the ordinary person. One is food. Second, transportation, health, and education. How much of these amount that has been recovered, from the subsidy? We don't even know the figure. And we don't know where it is.
My people, you could see what Dr. Matthias said in that old video. He said the major problem of this country is that people have a slavery mindset. No, let us check it out. What he actually said there is actually very heavy. A country that has a problem of slavery mindset. Our people are the ones selling themselves then during the slave trade. Until this present moment, we are still selling ourselves. Let me give you a point. Let me give you a point of what he's actually saying. Okay, in a country that has a oil as in part of its mineral resources, but finds joy in taking outside for it to be refined, then brings back the oil times to the price the oil was actually exported. Is that a country that does not have a slavery mindset? It obviously so shows that the citizens of this country actually have a slavery mindset. Check what President Bola Ahmed TINUBU is doing. You will see that every policy that is actually bringing now on people, it actually shows that it does not have any plans to cushion the effect of all the policies that is giving people, that is actually giving its administrative, that is affecting the whole country presently. You will see that it does not even have a solution to the problem. Usman BUGAJE said that he does not have a solution to the policy that is actually giving the people, the policy that is actually affecting 90% of citizens in the country, and you expect everybody to just calm down and keep quiet and be looking at you. It does not work like that. And he also said that transparency is actually very far from this present administration. You removed fuel subsidy, thinking that the money will be impacted on the economy, or let us say that maybe the education, the health sector. Nothing like that is actually happening. And you said that the fuel subsidy was removed. After the fuel subsidy is removed, is there any part of the country that we have actually seen the effect of the fuel subsidy, the money that you actually realize from the subsidy removal? Have we ever seen anywhere that is being implemented? Nothing like implementation. President Bola Ahmed TINUBU only a mindset of coming to rule is a dictatorship. He's not even ready to listen to any kind of advice, and he was even advised way then when immediately he was sworn in that he should not mention the subsidy removal, even though we have that Peter Obi and ATIKU was actually going to remove the fuel subsidy eventually when they become the president of the country. But nobody isn't that the fuel subsidy shouldn't be removed. Now that it has been removed, have you implemented the money anywhere? That's why we have the daughter and son of President Bola Ahmed TINUBU telling people that they should calm down, that what is actually the policy that is actually bringing is a policy that is going to help Nigeria later. But what are the plans that are set on the side? What are the plans that are set aside to cushion the effect of all this policy? A lot of people are actually agitating outside, shouting, lamenting about the present situation of the country. There's no food, the security is very low, the insecurity of the country is increasing every day, abduction, kidnapping here and there, and at the same time people are hungry. A lot of people are dying, a lot of people are fainting on the road and being helped to eat. What's the essence of working, and at the end of the day, even the money you realize from your work, you cannot even use it to buy food and still remain some funds in your pocket, which means that the economy of the country is actually draining. You will see that the dollar to naira rate now is 1,800 naira per dollar, and everybody is shouting and lamenting. What is the essence of giving a policy that you cannot even work well with it? Your people cannot survive in it, and we have a lot of money that have been borrowed from the foreign country, and you're using this money to buy SUV cars. You're using it to fund the office of the first lady that is not even constitutional. What of the better Edu that was suspended the other time? We never heard anything after they said that she was suspended from office. Are they not even supposed to have a kind of constitution that can penalize all these people? That's the reason why we have more and more of people that are coming to show their sense of corruption in the co-government. President Bola Ahmed TINUBU is major problem of the country, and once that people are actually agitated that he should resign, he should leave it, because what's the essence of you being a president and you cannot even function when as a president of the country? None of these issues that are actually happening in the country that you've said something about and you call yourself the president of the country. My people, a lot is actually happening in this country. Feel free to share your opinion at the comment section prior to the video you watched, and tell us what you feel. What is the solution to all this problem? Tell us what you feel about everything that is actually going on in this country, and don't forget to share this video to every social media platform. If you cannot share, like it, give it a thumbs up so that YouTube will recommend it for us. And if you are coming across this channel for the very first time, do where to click the red subscription button, and don't forget to click the bell icon so that YouTube will notify you anytime we drop another trendy video. See you in our next video. Bye for now.